Good afternoon, everyone. This is a great honor to be here at the UPUPSI International Conference 2025. My name is Nur Hamidah from the Department of Guidance and Counseling, Faculty of Educational Science, University Education of Indonesia. Today, I will present my comprehensive examination on bullying among vocational students, philosophical, psychological, and counseling perspective. I hope this presentation will help us understand and address this critical educational challenge. Let's begin. Okay, first let's look at the scope of the problem. Bullying is repeated aggressive behavior that involve power imbalance, manifesting as physical violence, verbal abuse, social exclusion, and cyberbullying. Vocational students face unique vulnerabilities due to complex social dynamics and environmental stressors. These statistics are quite shocking. In Indonesia, 84% of vocational students experience some form of bullying, according to Indonesian Child Protection Commission data. Globally, one in three students worldwide, one in three, have experienced bullying at school, with vocational setting reporting higher rates. And the role of bystanders is critical. 80% of incidents at awareness bear peers, but only 20% intervene. This highlights the need for targeting intervention. Next, we will explore the philosophical perspective, focusing on moral dissentment. Bullying violates fundamental human dignity. Bandura theory of moral dissentment identifies a cognitive mechanism that enable perpetrators to commit harm without guilt. I will mention four of them. 1. Moral justification. Reframing aggression as teasing a lesson. Next, euphemistic labeling using sanitized language like joking to obscure harm. Displacement of responsibility, claiming actions result from pressure. Dehumanizing, stripping victim of human qualities through derogatory labels. Uh, Effective intervention must address this mechanism through explicit ethical education on and modeling proportional perspective brain science. Let's move to the psychological perspective. This is where the evidence becomes quite serious. Chronic bullying produces measurable structural and functional alteration in developing brains, with consequences persisting into adulthood. There are four key areas of brain changes: hippocampus, reduce volume, affect memory, formation, and emotional regulation. Next, amygdala, hyperreactivity causes excessive resilient to genuine threats. Next, prefrontal cortex. Altered development impaired executive function and impulse control. Stress system HPA axis chronic activation leads to deregulation and vulnerability to anxiety and depression. These neurobiological can mediate appro- approximately 16% of bullying negative effects on cognitive abilities, so bullying constitutes serious trauma. Neurobiological impact, the 16% mediation effect. To elaborate on this research demonstrate that brain alterations directly mediate cognitive impairments in bullying victims. This finding transform our understanding from viewing bullying as merely psychological to recognizing it as biological trauma. This good news is the brain remarkable neuroplasticity offers hope. Intervention, providing corrective social experience, and reducing chronic stress can facilitate adaptive neural gains and reverse some damage. Next, counseling perspective, whole school intervention. Finally, this counseling perspective prompts us to use whole school intervention. Comprehensive evidence-based approach reduce bullying perpetration by 23% and victimization by 17 to 20%. The five core competence are: one, clear policy establish definition, reporting procedures, and graduated consequence. Next, two, staff training, equip educators to recognize and intervene effectively. 3. Curriculum integration incorporate in social emotional learning and empathy development. 4. Enhance supervision, increase adults' presence, high risk location, reduction incidence by 15 to 20%. 5. Parent involvement, engage families through information session. Next, empowering bystander. One of the most to 20%. 5. Parent involvement, engage families through information session. Next, empowering bystander. One of the most powerful intervention is empowering bystanders, since per witness 80% of bullying bystander programs have the potential to so transform witnesses into defenders. Effective programs show 30% reductions in bullying. Key component include empathy, cultivation, concrete intervention, skills training, and a peer culture shift toward defending victims. The expected outcomes are redefined social norms favoring defenders and reduce isolation for victims. isolation for victims. Okay, target support, victim, and protector. Beyond systemic prevention, we need targeting support for both victims and perpetrators. For victims, intervention include counseling, behavioral therapy, CBT, to reframe negative to social skills training and trauma focus approaches for severe cases. For perpetrators, we need accountability and behavior change strategies. Restorative justice promotes accountability and empathy. Restorative practices show 30 to 4% reductions in repeat offending compared to traditional discipline. Next, implementasi in vocational context. Specifically in Indonesian, vocational schools intervention must be culturally adaptive. Effective management requires sustained collaboration among counselors, administrators, parents, and students. Therefore, specific challenge to address, integrate with professional ethics, connect bullying prevention to workplace readiness, recognize complex backgrounds, acknowledge property and trauma that increase risk, address hierarchical traditions, challenge senior junior dynamic that normals bullying. Next, expand counselor resources, hire additional counselor to achieve appropriate ratio. Next, expand counselor resources, hire additional counselor to achieve appropriate ratio. Next, terakhir, and in conclusion, bullying is simultaneously a moral failure, neurobiological trauma, and behavioral pattern. A comprehensive understanding enables a holistic response. We have collaborative actions for all stakeholders. For the Education Ministry, we urge them to mandate evidence-based programs and fund counselor positions. For school leaders, adopt whole school programs and increase supervision. For educator, complete training and model pro-social behavior. And for a stakeholder, we must collaborate in creating safe community where all students develop their full potential free from peer victimization. Thank you for your attention. I am now ready to answer any question you may have. Thank you.